Should I tell my best friend's boyfriend that she cheated on him with my FWB? Hello people of Reddit. Last week my 22F best friend 21F of 6 years slept with my FWB 28M. At one point in time, I had strong feelings for him. We would often go on dates and trips together, basically in an open relationship without a title for 3 years with the boundaries set that I didn't sleep with his friends and he didn't sleep with mine. I introduced my friend to him last year as we would often go out and party together. Long story short, last week they were coming to visit me at the restaurant I work at, as we were all going to plan a trip together for my birthday this week. But I didn't clarify which job I was at, so they drove to the wrong city. I told them to just eat there and I would meet up with them after. As they were getting drinks and dinner, she kept asking me if I was mad that she was at dinner with him alone, and I didn't think I had any reason to be. She was also texting me saying how similar we are and how we would get married someday. Lol. I got off of work as they were leaving the restaurant, so they told me to meet them at her house. I get to her house and neither of them were there and they were not answering their phones, so I knew something was up. I then drove to his house and not so surprisingly, they were there. She then called me and said that she was sorry and told me she was parked down the street from her house talking on the phone to her boyfriend and to meet her at her house in 5 minutes. She was talking on the phone with me. They both walked out of his house and he drove her home. I followed them to her house and caught my FWB at the end of the street. I asked him if they slept together and at first he was lying, but I eventually got it out of him. He said they did sleep together and if I were to tell her boyfriend to leave his name out of it. I proceeded to walk into her house and call her some nasty names as she was crying and denying all of it. I told her that I was going to tell her boyfriend, but she was still denying all of it. I left her house and blocked them both on everything. I was strongly considering calling her boyfriend that night to tell him, but figured I should wait until I calmed down to do so. While I do want to tell him because he deserves to know she's unfaithful, I also kind of want to just block them both out of my life entirely and move on with it. Another reason that is holding me back is that she is quite spiteful and I know she will try to take me down with her. Is telling her boyfriend just me being spiteful and petty? Am I being selfish by not telling him, with the reason being that she will try to ruin my life as well? Too long didn't read. My friend of many years slept with my FWB. Should I tell her boyfriend? If someone knew my BF had cheated on me, I would really appreciate them telling me. I'm out here to have a good time, not to get gonorrhea or some ish, ha ha ha. I'm sure this isn't the first time she's cheated. It's just close to home for you, so you found this one out. If you do, prepare for him not to believe you without hard evidence. Woman shrugging. First of all, sorry you have such a shitty best friend. She's trash AF. For fucking the guy you have been involved with for 3 years and clearly knew you had feelings for him. And 2, for having such a trash dude break one of your boundaries in not sleeping with each other's friends. If I were you, I'd fuck one of his. You definitely need to tell her BF so he can get himself out of a relationship with such a terrible selfish person. Who cares if she's spiteful? You already blocked her anyways. She's out of your life. You owe it to her BF to tell him. If I were you, I'd fuck one of his. I doubt he'd care. She lied to both you and her boyfriend, so I would tell him immediately. Don't give a damn about whether she's spiteful or not. Please waste no time and spare no feelings telling him. The more time you wait, the more it will hurt the both of you. Leave his name out of it. What an asshat. Maybe you should have left your dick out of it. I'd want to know for sure. And the FWB doesn't deserve any favors. Golden rule, tell him because you'd want to know, right? Also, your FWB crossed your agreement about not sleeping with friends. I'd cut them both out and move on to healthier relationships, especially with yourself. My 27F trainer at the gym, 30M. won't stop bringing up Rick and Morty and I can't handle it anymore. This is going to sound like a troll but please bear with me. I have autism and can come across as pretty socially awkward. Got a trainer about a year ago. He's a very social guy. I've noticed that he kind of caters his conversations to whoever he's talking to. Like, with old men he'll talk about golf, with parents he'll talk about kids, etc., but he still covers a wide variety of topics with other people. When I was getting to know him he asked me what kind of shows I liked. I didn't even mention Rick and Morty, but he asked if I liked it and I said sure. Well, since then he only brings up Rick and Morty with me. I've tried to divert the conversation to other topics but he always nudges the convo back to Rick and Morty. For example, if I try talking about dogs, he brings up the dog episode of Rick and Morty. If I bring up a new restaurant he talks about Pickle Rick. Then when there's a lull in conversation he'll say remember X episode? It's the best, that type of thing. We have had dozens of conversations about it. I cannot handle it anymore. I don't even like Rick and Morty all that much, and I have said repeatedly that I haven't even watched this past season but the Rick and Morty talk persists. And now that Rick and Morty has won an Emmy, I know he's just going to bring it up all week. The guy doesn't seem like a huge fan of the show or anything, but he's totally associated me with R&M so it's all he brings up around me. What can I say to get him to stop talking about Rick and Morty? Edit, I am like 70% sure that this is because he knows I'm autistic. The first couple of sessions he talked to me like I was normal, then he overheard I had autism and it has gone fully over to Rick and Morty. Too long didn't read. My trainer thinks I love Rick and Morty and seems to associate it with me. My efforts to diverge the conversation to other topics are pretty unsuccessful. What can I do? Talk about other TV shows? Next time he brings it up say actually I'm pretty tired of talking about X, but I've been watching Y. The guy is probably just worried about dead air. Yikes, I've been in this position before and it is totally annoying. I think there are gentle ways of signaling you don't want to talk about the show by redirecting the conversation. You will need to be prepared with topics you want to talk about and lead the conversation. I like to lead a conversation by acknowledging their last statement then asking questions to redirect the conversation. When your trainer says something like, "Wow, did you see that Rick and Morty got an Emmy? It was totally deserved, don't you think?" You can say something like, "Yeah, I heard about that. I was excited when show you really like got an Emmy. Have you seen it?" If your trainer comes back to Rick and Morty, say something like, "Wow, I'm definitely not as big a fan of Rick and Morty as you are. What other shows are you watching?" Keeping the topics on TV shows might bring you back to R&M, so you can pivot to a whole new topic. Yeah, that sounds like a great episode. Anyway, why did you want to become a personal trainer? And continue to ask follow-up questions. If for whatever reason he brings it back to R&M, you can comment, "You love Rick and Morty as much as I love dogs. I love going to your favorite park with my dog. Have you been there? What's your favorite park in the city?" You can also be direct. It feels awkward, but sometimes it's the easiest. Acknowledge plus say you're done with R&M plus question to redirect. A dog episode of R&M sounds really funny. Can we talk about something else for today? I've been looking for new recipes to cook at home. What are you making that you really love right now? Try to have a few things that are light you want to talk about and you would be interested in your trainer's opinion. Food and restaurants are great, movies, your trainer's fitness goals and journey to being a trainer, music, fun upcoming plans. Nothing super personal. Honestly, conversations like this take practice, but they do get easier. Good luck. I'd say something like, "I love Rick and Morty but I'm actually super burned out on it right now. Do you mind if we talk about something else? Are there any other shows you like?" Like another commenter said, "He's probably worried about dead air." Give him license to suggest another topic, any topic, rather than just what he thinks you like. I'm atypical and female. Honestly, I would just be blunt. I really enjoy your training methods and wish to continue working with you. It's just the conversation seems to dwell on Rick and Morty and I have grown tired of it. Look, you are paying the dude for his time and as such it should be a pleasant experience for you. If he is a good trainer you don't want to lose him. But to me beating around the bush or making something up would be rather difficult. In my head I think, oh, just tell him your ex and you used to watch it so it brings up bad memories. But a part of Asperger's is that it makes lying incredibly difficult. The feeling of guilt would drive a bigger wedge than listening to Rick and Morty stories. If all else fails, just pretend Rick and Morty are his friends that he talks about with you. Well, plus I've been married for longer than R+M has been on air and he knows my husband, lol. I'll try and work up the courage to say something like that. I feel like I've been reduced to an embarrassing stereotype. Once he brings it up again you could say, you know what, I kinda stopped enjoying Rick and Morty. No particular reason. I just kinda drop shows like that sometimes. Has that happened to you with any shows? At last, part of you asking him a question can steer the conversation somewhere else, at least to a different show. I can be pretty awkward around people sometimes. The way I've tried to deal with it is before I get a haircut, for example, I'll think up some topics or non-controversial current events to talk about. That way if there's a lull in the conversation I can think of something to throw out there. Haha. Good luck. It's my 18th birthday and nobody remembered it. I, 18F, have friends who I thought I was really close with, including my best friend since 2nd grade, but everyone has apparently forgotten my birthday. Even my dad and my sister, 22F, didn't remember. Literally the only person that said anything was my mom, who lives in a different state, and she just sent me $50 as a present. To be honest, I feel really sad right now and I'm questioning everything. I've always been the one to organize surprise parties or go all out for my friends' birthdays, and having nobody reciprocate, or even just send me a happy birthday text, makes me incredibly disappointed. Even when I wasn't the one at the helm, other people in my friend group have always led birthday efforts. I'm turning 18. This is one of the big ones, one of the days that's supposed to be all about you. I feel really alone and like nobody cares, but I also feel selfish and entitled for making such a big deal out of people forgetting, because I know that they probably didn't do this on purpose and there's so many bigger problems in the world right now. Basically, I just feel both like a terrible person and terrible in general. Should I confront people about this and what would I say? I think it's a little awkward for me to just say that I'm disappointed in people for not saying anything. Or maybe that's just my fear of confrontation, but at the same time if I do nothing I'm just going to feel even worse the next time someone else's birthday comes around and I'm expected to celebrate or organize something for the birthday person. Too long didn't read. Nobody remembered that my 18th birthday is today and I feel sad both because of the situation and because I feel sad that I'm sad. I'm not sure if I should talk to people about it or not. I feel you, my mom, friends, basically everyone forgot my birthday. Only person who remembered was one friend and my dad. I felt like crap that day and cried in my room, but I was thankful that at least 2 people remembered. Even my teacher remembered, but no word from my mom, which was the one that hit me hard. It was the day after track practice and my mom picked me up by herself. I was waiting patiently. That may be the reason why she didn't say anything, is because she had a surprise, but I was just flattering myself. Turns out she didn't give a crap. Happy 18th birthday, fellow stranger. I don't really have any advice to offer, but happy birthday! Exclamation mark. Nobody did anything for my 21st birthday. The one friend I had planned to do something with ditched me on the day. I was really low and couldn't stop comparing myself to other people on social media who were going on holiday or getting a new car as a birthday gift for their 21st. I don't think my 18th was much celebrated either. It hurts, but I realized that I had to push to make my own plans for it. Sadly, no one was ever going to give me a surprise party, but I've planned a small all-girls birthday dinner, going to the movies, picnic in the park with friends, that I made a few years later and were much better than friends I had at age 18. My family still don't acknowledge my birthday, but I make sure to treat myself on the day and not get pulled down by their failures. I'm 29 now. I've never had big birthday celebrations, but next year I'm hoping to go to Paris for my 30th.